those boundary setting conversations are the hardest conversations if you've never had them. You know, it's best to set boundaries in the beginning. It's harder to set boundaries after it's been some time. You know what I mean? Like, let's say someone says something disrespectful to you and you didn't like it, but you didn't say, I didn't like that. So now the next time they see you, they think it's okay. They're like, yo, what up, big nose? Big nose McGoes? And you like, bro, I hate when this man say this. And now, because people see y'all hanging out, and they see you hanging out with somebody else, and they like, yo, what up, big nose? Big nose McGoes. And now it's super hard to be like, yo, can y'all not call me that? I'm like, damn, why you didn't tell us 6 years ago? We've been calling you Big Nose McGoes for a while now. That is why it's hard to have those conversations, because it's going to require and recognize somebody to see your growth and see your development. And that's sometimes we're scared of our own growth and our own development, or we don't even see it in ourselves, right? So that's why I'm saying, like, this is a hard thing to do, but it is necessary. Like, if you never do it, if you never set boundaries, then you're not going to do it with your friends. Then you're not going to do it in your job. You're not going to do it in more intense relationships, because you can't do it. You can't do it with somebody who you built the relationship up naturally. So it's going to be hard to do it with somebody you were forced to build a relationship with. Who said you can't use gaming to encourage people? Who said you can't use gaming to teach people the ways? Not me. Welcome to the new episode of Gems and Gaming. Get ready as we log in to share some life wisdom and put you on game. Let's get it. Yo, what's going on, y'all? Today's Gems and Gaming. Brand new episode. We got a whole new lineup for the segment. I've been doing the podcast before where I was just talking casual, just saying how I felt. Today we're going to do it a lot different, and moving forward, if it goes well, we're just going to do it this way. Gems and Gaming today is going to be one topic, and we're going to split that topic up into 3 segments. The first segment is the side quest segment, the second segment is the co-op segment, and the third segment is the final boss for the topic. Today's Gems and Gaming is finding your voice in life's game. So if you don't know anything about me, a lot of my businesses that I own is all game themed, and I was a gamer growing up. I really like the concept of teaching through games, and that's how I educate people. So we're going to just do that here in my personal brand too, and have Gems and Gaming be that way. We're going to play Monster Hunter Wilds for today's game. It's a very fun game. I mean, I'm new to it. I'm only Hunter rank 4. I played Monster Hunter Worlds forever, especially with my guy. A lot of my friends. So some of my friends move over to Monster Hunter Wilds. So you'll see that in Video Game Dump. It should be a real smooth game. Since I already know how to play it, I shouldn't be too distracted while talking about the lesson. So let's get into it. First, we're going to talk about the side quest, which is leveling up your voice. This is a easy concept to understand, but much harder to practice. You ever been in like any scenario where you see something is not going the way that you would probably agree with, or you would run it different? It's basically it doesn't look right, feel right. Those are the hardest scenarios to speak up. You have everything fighting you in that moment. Just like, nah, just let it go. It ain't that big a deal. It's not your problem. If they gonna screw up, then they gonna screw up. That's cool. That's cool, and that is a perspective, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right perspective, right? Obviously, we know that, but why is it not the right perspective? Why do we know that? Why are we confident in saying that's the case? Simple. It honestly causes more disruption for you than peace to not speak up. I've been in that scenario plenty of times. I would see stuff happen. and I'm not going to speak up because I'm not the one calling the shots, or I'm not the one in the position to make a change. But in reality, you are. The person. Closed mouths don't get fed. It always takes somebody to speak up that first time, and obviously they'll deal with the rejection that they deal with, or they'll deal with the pushback. They'll deal with having to be the face of opposition. You guys see it in social media all the time. Anytime someone does something in the public eye, people ready to tear them down. And then that's tough to do. No one really wants that stress. But is it not more stressful to live in chaos that you could have prevented than dealing with the opposition of people who are reluctant to change? People might be reluctant to change because they didn't spend enough time with the thought that you did. But if you spent so much time with the thought, why would you not invest in making that thought a reality? Making that idea actually relevant. It's on you at that point. You really the culprit for not, speaking up. That's one way to look at it. You can pretend like everything is gonna work itself out, or you can be one of the pioneers to making sure that it works out. Like I mentioned, I deal with this. I struggle with speaking up, even in my position. I'm a business owner. I have employees. They'll do what I ask. I'm not gonna say they'll do whatever I ask. That'd be nice. But they'll do what I ask for sure. If I say, hey, I need help with this, hey, I need help with that, they'll help me out. And that's what I love about having a position where people report to me, because they typically will speak up because I said something. Long story short, because of my position, people will help me out, and they don't really care about if they disagree with me or not. And that's cool, but that's not how every way in life goes for me. So if, as someone who's in a powerful position where I can have yes men if that's what I wanted to be around, that's only in controlled environments. So that means we all deal with some level of delegation where we got to deal with other people, right? So if that's the case, if I have to go through it, you got to go through it, why don't we just level up that skill to make sure that we are mastering our reaction time and our words in those scenarios? So here's a side quest for you to do that. It's always easier to start in your home, if I'm being honest with you. Always easier to start in your home, because I'm gonna be real with you. That's the closest proximity. You don't have to now find a test dummy. You already know family is typically the toughest people to work with sometimes, especially as you grow up and you age and you get a little bit better in life. You're still their baby brother, you're still their baby sister, you're still their little boy, their little girl, or they grew up changing your diaper. So obviously it's going to be harder for someone in your own home to understand your new way of thinking, or to I knew that was going to happen, or to just like voice that without interruption, right? Without someone saying, bro, this ain't gonna work because of this, or you always got something to say here, blah blah blah. Like, y'all know how fam do, and everyone's fam's not like that, of course. I'm generalizing, but it's typically your family that's the hardest to convince whenever you have a new thought or a new idea that came with your development. So the side quest is, ask your family a simple question. A very difficult question. Something that is conducive to the relationship of your family, such as, what is our family's biggest issue and why do y'all think that is? Biggest issue in terms of communication. Because, it's no point in generalizing and say money, because a lot of us have money. Say something specific. Like, what's the biggest issue in our family? What's holding our family back? That's going to be a difficult thing to do, but I guarantee you'll get so much better at it. And that is why it's the side quest. Because it's not optional. Like, you don't always have to address what happens in your home, but sometimes when you go outside your home, you got to address certain things. I'm dead. Oh, the block is so amazing on here. I got Sword and Shield, and I didn't have this in the last Monster Hunter. I used daggers, and daggers is more offensive than defensive. So it's real cool to go from attacking just like I would in daggers, because the weapon is short just like the dagger was, but then immediately go to defense. It's not the best defense, but it's way better than what I had. So that's awesome. Anyway, that's your side quest. Start at home. It's hard at home, but it's even harder outside. Like, you might have some friends that agree with you, but they probably agree with you just because y'all probably benefit each other. Y'all probably stagnate each other. Like, y'all probably agree with each other all the time. There's no real need to, like, there's no real need to, I don't know how to say hello back. Oh, let's see, communications. Huh. I have no idea how to say hey back. But it's probably no need to, like, elevate at that point because you're surrounded by people that agree with you. That's why family is a little bit harder, and it's probably why you should start there, and that's your side quest. Now, you're getting to the co-op section. Alright, co-op section is something you gotta play with somebody else. Side quests in games typically are preparing you for main quests. So this is a mission that you have to do, but it is something that you have to do with somebody else. This is the only way that you're going to practice and get better. So let's give you a mission for the co-op, because you got your side quest. You're going to start at home. You're going to ask your family, what is the biggest thing that hurts our family from communicating, or the biggest thing that hurts our family from blah blah blah, right? You guys know your family better than I could ever know, so there's no point in me giving you specific examples, but just general ideas. Alright, the second question. I got this written out, so let me look to the side. Hold on. Co-op mode. I want you to speak up in friendships, dating, marriage, and business. You know what the hardest thing to do in that scenario, speaking up in those 4 things that I mentioned, or however many number of things that I mentioned, those boundary setting conversations are the hardest conversations if you've never had them. You know, it's best to set boundaries in the beginning. It's harder to set boundaries after it's been some time. You know what I mean? Like, let's say someone says something disrespectful to you and you didn't like it, but you didn't say, you know, I didn't like that. So now the next time they see you, they think it's okay. They like, yo, what up, big nose? Big nose McGoes? And you like, bro, I hate when this man say this. And now, because people see y'all hanging out, and they see you hanging out with somebody else, and they like, yo, what up, big nose? Big nose McGoes. And now it's super hard to be like, yo, can y'all not call me that? I'm like, damn, why didn't you here tell us 6 years ago? We've been calling you Big Nose McGoes for a while now. You know, that is why it's hard to have those conversations, because it's going to require and recognize somebody to see your growth and see your development. You know, and that's sometimes we're scared of our own growth and our own development, or we don't even see it in ourselves. Right? So that's why I'm saying, like, this is a hard thing to do, but it is necessary. Like, if you never do it, if you never set boundaries, then you're not going to do it with your friends. Then you're not going to do it in your job. You're not going to do it in more intense relationships, because you can't do it. You can't do it with somebody who you built the relationship up naturally. So it's going to be hard to do it with somebody you were forced to build a relationship up with. Now, that's why we have the side quest starting at home. If you actually did that side quest, if you can do it with your fam, you can do it with your friends. Easily. If you married, if you can do it with your wife, bro, your friends ain't nothing. Your friends ain't nothing to do it with. And they'll rock with you more because you're real, you authentic. They know, like, yo, Kingcayne ain't with the BS. He say he gonna do something, he mean it. If he say don't mess with him this way, he mean that. And that's okay. That's okay, because now I get to say to him, like, hey, Don't say that. Don't do that to me. Like, I don't like that. And I respect it because you respect what I said. That's the co-op mission. Now you got the boss fight. This is the hardest mission. Listen, you know how you just set boundaries, or you know how you just had a difficult conversation with the fam. Those are hard things to do. Now, oh man, I didn't even carve the tail. Now, you need to do something, ask something, request something where there's the possibility of rejection. You have to do that. Make sure you do that. This is the boss fight. We all hate rejection. You hate going up to the young girl and being like, "Hey, what's up, girl? I wanna know you." She like, "Young boy, get out my face." Like, that's embarrassing. Nobody wants to deal with that. Same for women. It's not a guy thing. Like, women don't like being rejected by somebody they're interested in. No one likes rejection. But the most experienced people, especially at speaking up, often deal with rejection. Often. And you learn that rejection is the first stage of actually making a real life connection in a real life relationship. That's just, I'm just being real. I'm just letting you know. Most of my relationships when I was younger started off a bad first impression, a bad interaction. But that's because I'm not afraid to take risks. I'm not afraid to say how I feel. And if we can get through the hard thing quick, like the boss fight quickly, and we can disagree on something and still have a relationship after, I found those to be the most authentic relationships. I'm not saying be like me. I'm just saying it's easiest for me to be me. So I deal with that more than I like to. But you don't necessarily, you probably won't have that issue. You know, you might be a lot smoother and a lot more tactful than I am. And shout out to you. I'm trying to get on your level. But all I'm saying is this. When you can say, I want friends, I'm selling a new perfume, cologne, whatever. Perfume or cologne, and it's not the luxury brand, but I guarantee it smells better, and I guarantee that my product works. I can't charge luxury prices because I don't use the same manufacturers that they do right now. You know, I don't have the same expensive. But I do have expenses, so I do want to sell my product to you, and I would love for you to use my product. All right, cool. I got you. How much is your product? Big Nose? And Big Nose is like, yo, my product is $50 per bottle. Ooh, $50? Like, Big Nose McGee, I can't even do that. All right, now. Think about it like this. Did y'all see the graphics of my game? What's going on? Think of it like this. Somebody would spend $50 on a DoorDash order right now. And y'all know it's true. Y'all know you would probably do it. You know you would probably spend $50 on a DoorDash order. If your friend came to you and was like, "Hey, I like you to buy my blah, blah, blah." Instantly, you'd probably be like, "Buy? How much?" Well, you know, what am I giving you money for? It's the same reason you're giving money to a corporation, an institution, because you want to try their product. Just because someone has good marketing doesn't mean their product is better than someone who isn't marketing at all. If it's a friend, those are the best times to like say, you know what, I'll give this investment because it's going into my community or it's going into somebody I know. You got instant customer service. If whatever you get you don't like, you get to give that feedback directly. All right, there are so many things you can do as a business owner with your friends, but you would never be able to do that because you're afraid to be rejected by your friends. You still worried about their approval, or you worried about not. You worried about the wrong things. Let me just tell you that. and I know this because I've gotten rejected by friends and family, and I'm not mad at either because I've practiced with the co-op mission. I practiced with, what's the other thing we said, the side quest. with those things, I practice dealing with rejection. So now I'm not afraid to go up to a business and say, hey, can you invest in Pitch Play's coaching program? Can you invest in Pitch Play's education program? I don't mind doing that. And I'm not better than anybody, if I'm being honest with you. I just practice speaking up. It's so hard to do, trust me. And it gets harder every level you go. But because you practice, you're better at dealing with things. It's like playing this game, right? Like the more I play Monster Hunter, like the more I play Monster Hunter, the more stuff like that is going to happen. But way stronger, way faster, way more catastrophic. You know, I'm playing really easy mode right now, if you think about it, at least on the game. So you're probably playing easy mode in speaking up. You're probably not speaking up to anybody that really can reject you to the point that it has you thinking, how do I get better? All right, I ran out of space on the memory card, so this is what we're going to do. We started our new segment. We started our 3 sessions. We're going to end it on a webcam. Y'all heard what I had to say. Go ahead and do those 3 missions. Get back to me in the comments. Get back to me next week. Say, hey, these 3 missions changed my life. I got better here, better there. Obviously, it probably won't happen like that quickly or that smooth, but at least starting is the start. Remember the first Gems in Gaming? The best way to start is to start. So go ahead and try that out, y'all. Yo, just know, man, we got this. This Gems in Gaming. God bless.